Now, a sacrifice of only 1 year, just 365 days, by the way, is enough to kick you yourself out of the poverty. Sometimes people tend to complicate the game of getting out of the poverty. It is not complicated, it's just simple. And if you can follow me from this video, just for the next 15 minutes, I'm gonna share with you exactly what you can be able to do. And by the way, guess what? If you don't want to miss any of my future videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe. Next to my subscribers, there is a small button written subscribe. It's in black. Hit that magical button, like the video, and comment on the comment section if you find value on this video. All right, let's go to the next point. By the way, don't forget to like the video. See, now, point number one. Here you are. Let's call you John. John, here you've been complaining. Hey, how can I get myself out of poverty? How exactly can I do? And I'm going to use a very simple case scenario that I dealt with in like sometimes back in a place where I was invited to talk to people who are low incomers. These people, they use donkeys to fetch water, then they sell that water. So they have an organization, a circle, a small circle that they have, and they invited me. They told me, Joseph, we are just let's just call them the donkey people. These are donkey people. They invited me to ask me, Joseph, what exactly can we do so we get ourselves out of the case scenario that we are in? And I'm telling you, that is exactly what I'm going to share with you. Now, this is the point. See, only 1 year can actually get yourself out of poverty. And this is the case. Now, what happens, most of the people tend to complain. And you find I'm going to draw a graph on this board. Probably you've ever seen me drawing that graph. I'm going to use it. If the thing is working, I'm going to use it a million times. Let's say you draw a graph here. And this graph represents achievement on this side. This is achievement. And this is the time. Okay, and time here obviously we are taking in terms of years. Okay, so you find most of the people at the beginning, they always complain, Joseph, guess what, economy is tough, economy is bad, we cannot do it, we cannot save, we cannot do nothing, and what have you. It's because of the government, because together. So most of the people tend to complain at this beginning. Obviously, all of them are here. They are complaining. They don't have the money. They don't have the savings. You find you cannot differentiate the person A and the person B. Why? Because, quote unquote, they don't have the money. But in this case scenario, we have one individual who decides to appear. And I'm giving you this example because someone called me back and told me, you know what, Joseph, exactly what you told us, I did that and it is working for me. So I'm giving you a real example that myself I handled, and I'm giving all the glory to God. Now you have one individual here who says, guess what? Yes, it may be tough, it may be whatever, but I'm going to do one thing. And I told them, go ahead and do what we call a sacrifice of only saving $1 a day. And I asked them, how much do you make per day? They said, we make roughly 600 to 1,200 thereabouts. So let's give it an average of 900 to 1,000. Okay, and I said, out of that amount of money, the moment in a day you get across the first 100 Kenyan shillings or a single dollar, save it. I repeat, whether you're going to get that dollar early in the morning at 8 a.m. or at 2 p.m., whatever the time that you'll get a hold of the first 100 shilling, save it. Whether you'll be given by somebody, whether you're going to collect it on the road, whatever the place that you're going to be, provided you get your first 100 shillings, save it. And once you save that 100 each and every day for the next 365 days, 365 days simply means 1 year. And this is what happens. Now, people are complaining. You yourself in our midst, you've decided to make a difference. So what happens? Let's say this is year 1, this is year 2, and this is year 3. This is what you do. So you save your money continuously. The day one, by the way, if let's say we are 10 of us here, I save 100 bob. Can you even tell somebody who has saved 100? They don't look different. They don't look wealthy. They don't look rich. They're just an average like any other. All right. So you save their first 100, no difference. The second, the third, the fourth, even the 10th one, you don't even look any difference. Like you're just like any other person. You can even complain when they are complaining, but you know you have like a saved something. Get what I'm saying? See, now you save your first 100, your 600, your third, your fourth, 50. You don't look different. You don't look different. But as the time goes, the first month, you have your 3,000. If they're complaining about how can I even get 1,000, you cannot complain because you have yours. Now what happens, as the time goes by, they achieve, you tend to become different from them. By the time now you're clocking 1 year, guess what happens now? Here you are. You've saved something, all right? You've saved something. And guess how much you have? If you were to save 100 Kenyan shillings each and every day in a period of 365 days, you have yourself 36,500. True or not true? You have yourself 36,500. All right? Now, here you are. Now, guess what happens now? You see, at the beginning, you are similar to them. You'll never look different. But now, at the period of 1 year, you are different because now your language has changed. Your thinking has changed. And before I even continue to that, let me ask a very simple question. Say you don't have the capacity to buy a car, and then you find people talking about the language of cars. You know what? I don't love that car because that you cannot contribute to that language. Why? Because that is not your language. That's not where you are in life. You cannot even think about that. Okay, so that's not the thing you can even contribute about. But if you are, then you can. That is a language that is fitting. Okay, now what happens that this individual has actually differentiated him or herself to this particular first year. And what happens now? In this particular year, the guy has 6,500. And guess, imagine, I asked the guy, how much is one donkey to buy one donkey? And they told me, you only need 6,000, you have a donkey. Remember, these are donkey people. They use the donkey to fetch water, then they sell the water to the estate. And most of these people, most of them, they don't own these donkeys. They actually rent them. You rent a donkey, you go fetch water, you sell the water, you give the owner of this donkey 300 a day, 300 Kenyan shillings a day. And I asked, how much does it cost to buy a donkey? They told me it is 6,000. Are you thinking what I'm thinking now? If this guy decides to go ahead and buy the donkey, how many donkey do you think this guy has? This guy has, for God's sake, the guy has 6 donkeys. 6 donkeys. Let's say he decides to pick that. Let's say he goes and buy those 6. Guess what happens now? Before you even buy the donkeys, at this particular end of this year, the conversation of this individual has changed from the majority. Why? The guy is thinking now about buying the donkey. The guy are thinking, where can I get the next donkey to rent? And how can I actually get these 300 and something of sort? Probably this guy can even employ his fellas. You know why? He can go buy himself the 6 donkey. And then he gives back the owner of that donkey. He gets one donkey from his herd. What do we call many donkeys together? Are they called herd or flock? Whichever the thing it is. Or the pride of donkeys. Whichever. Now, the guy gets one donkey for himself, and then he leases or rents out the rest of the 5 donkeys. Guess now, 5 donkey multiplied by 300, guess how much? Guy gets in 500. Let's even say, obviously, sometimes it's easier said than done. That's very true. This is what you call the paper mathematics. Let's say even the 5 donkeys do not get the people to rent them, all of them. Let's say even guy can even afford to just 2 is on the lowest. The 3 donkeys are just idle somewhere, eating grass. No, nothing is going. Just two donkeys. Let's say only 2 donkeys will be out of the 5 donkeys. Only 2 donkeys will be rent out throughout the year. So it means it is 2 multiplied by 300. That is 600. Remember, the guy is still continuing with the same procedure of saving 100. So the guy now is no longer saving 100, but is the guy saving 700. Why? And obviously, I don't even know what I'm doing. You can't even tell where this mathematics is heading. You save the continuous saving of the 100 Kenyan shillings plus the 600 that is coming from the donkey. Therefore, you're saving 700. Multiply this by the second year now. By the time now you're clocking this year, you can do the mathematics. By the second year, the guy has how much? The gap is actually widening. By the time now you're talking about 2, 3, 4, but I'm not going to talk about. I only used 1 year, how you can transform and change your life. And this is what happens. Now, the guy has 6 donkey. He can decide to use 1 donkey and lease out the 5 donkeys. At this particular level, guy can even decide to rent out 3 donkeys and leave the 2 idle somewhere, assuming they do not have anybody who can rent them out. The guy can decide to rent out the 3 donkeys or 4 donkeys, and the guy can even decide to never work again. At his particular level, of which I do not encourage, the guy has a financial freedom. Why the guy makes that 1,000 shilling. Now, if you reason out the 9 donkeys, not 9 donkeys, but 3 donkeys, he has 900. Or 4 donkeys, the guy has 1,200. The guy can even relax and be getting some cash. Into creating the financial freedom as you're moving to the next level. Fine. I know you're not a donkey guy. I know probably this is not applicable to you, but apply the procedure, the formula, that thing that you usually do. You're employed somewhere. You're employed in a hotel. You're employed in a restaurant. Okay, there's a great difference between a hotel and a restaurant and what have you. Depends on who you ask. You're employed somewhere. You're employed in the clothing industry. You're employed. There's something that you do. What you do, you save that. You see, if you can just close your ears Okay, don't listen to what the majority are saying. You know what? Yes, there is this complaints. There are these people saying there is no money. It cannot be done. I'm gonna close my ears and I'm gonna focus on that what I can be able to do. If you focus exactly on that, then you can be able to do a great difference in your life. What happens is this: you find people say like, 100 shilling is not even. And by the way, you can even pick a money market fund. And if you were to pick a money market fund and save that amount of money, probably this money won't be that 6,000 because there is already an interest on top of that. So what you do is that most of the people tend to ignore this small amount of money that you get each and every day. And never forget this as long as you live. Take care of coins. The notes will take care of themselves. Okay? So in simple terms, I'm saying take care of smaller things, the major ones will take care of themselves. And I always tell people, it may sound hard, but it's not hard. Are you able to save 100 in a day? Are you able to save $1? Are you able to save 2 beers, to whatever the thing you call it in your country? Save that. Invest that continuously. Propagate for that. When you hear people are saving 100,000 in a day, forget about them. It's about you, not about them. It's about you. Focus on that. Remain constant. Remain constant. And guess what happens? For you, I know you are thinking, oh, the guy gonna end 1 year with 36,000. No, there are two things this guy gonna win with. Okay. One, he gonna get 36,000 at the end of the year. That's true. On a monetary aspect, the guy has won. Number two, the guy has the character. If you were to sit this guy down, would you? I mean, say you come from another planet, you come to Earth, and maybe there is a competition about saving and what have you. This is a brain you can borrow. So the guy actually not only ends with 36,500, but the guy ends with the character, the habit of saving, the habit of management. The guy has grown with his money or her money to a point whereby he understands it better. So he knows that money better. So if this guy, you can even subject this guy to another. So even guy, assuming that all the 5 donkeys actually get to be rent out, that is 1,500. So that means the same character that the guy had when he managed to save that 6,500, he can incorporate this and he can get a lot of, assuming by God's grace, because I know God is wonderful and God is a giver, assuming this guy can even manage to save only 1,000 out of the 1,500 for the next whole year, the guy has over 365,000 Kenyan shilling. This guy can even decide to start a donkey society of Kenya. Yo, I'm telling you, that's a lot of money. If you're assuming this guy decides to go and buy donkeys, you can just imagine the crazy number of donkeys he can get. Anyway, I'm not saying you should buy donkeys, but you can decide. You can even decide that 300 and something. The guy can even decide to go and buy like a second-hand matatu. That is a transport industry. The guy can get into the transport industry. He can get a couple of thousand. You get to ahead, you buy another. That's how you progress. That's how you grow. That's how you build yourself. But remember, the genesis was just a single dollar. And you know what you're saying? Probably that there are people who are like, you know what, Joseph, it is easier said than done. Obviously, you want me to tell you it is easier done than said? No, it is easier said than done. For you to achieve it, you need to, for those people who are successful on this video that are watching me right now, what that thing that you sacrificed. So sometimes I know there are people who criticize people and say, hey, you're telling us you started the whole restaurant with a single wing. Sometimes it's true, by the way. Not literally, but sometimes it's true. If you can just listen to somebody where they come from. I know somebody who started by hawking food. You know, he used to cook food and go and hawk in this construction industry. You know, in Kenya, we have this construction industry, the masonries and what have you. So you find the masons, yeah? You find the guy would go with food at the lunchtime, he served them and whatever, he go back home. So he started that way, cooking from his home, taking those places. From there, he rented a place, he used to cook from that particular place. He moved to the next level, he moved to the next level. Right now, as I'm telling you, the guy has employed huge number of people. The guy is having a restaurant. He's like, if that guy tells you I started my business with 1,000, does it make sense? It makes sense. It makes sense. So sometimes don't criticize people when you hear them talking about I started from. Sometimes it's literally true. Some people started all the way from bottom there. But the reason why you're criticizing them, because you know yourself, you don't have the discipline deep inside of you to manage that 100 shilling today, tomorrow, the other day, until you subjectively reach that amount of money to 36,500 at the end of the year. Therefore, and then the problem that people do, can you imagine this? This guy is the donkey society. He does the job with the donkey. You get that 6,000 and then you you go there and start, you know, I don't know, clothing business, and you don't go to what you don't understand. You stay to what you understand. Stay where you understand better. You understand the world of the donkeys, the renting out, the leasing out. You understand that business. Stay there. Channel your money because you don't have the time, you don't have the resources and the time and luxury to learn all those new things as of now. These are the things that you focus on. That way, progressively, guess what happens, my brothers and sisters? This is a simple formula how we can actually eradicate poverty within a period of 1 year. Then progressively, we can do amazing things. If you got value for this video, come on. Like the video and tell me in the comment section, indeed, Joseph, I got something amazing out there. All right? This must be said. By the way, if you'd like to get my services pertaining to investment, if you have a circle or chamas or whatever the thing that you'd like to invite me, you know, we can do it physically, we can do it virtually. Go grab that number of mine, go grab that email mine, shoot me a text or a call. We can have a discussion about that for just a cup of coffee's price. For now, so goodbye and see you in the next one.